Hi, I'm Becky Meagher, and welcome to Transitions, Body, Mind, Spirit. Transitions. We all have so many different transitions in our life, and I like to use the metaphor of triathlons. In a triathlon, which I just did Sunday, and with one of our guests, actually, in a triathlon, first you get in and you swim. And then you get to the transition area, and then you bicycle. And you get to a transition again, and then you run. And that's a big metaphor for what do we do in life? We start at one thing, go through others, different transitions, and change our lives. So today, we have a very interesting couple, Judy and Pete Aberg, who are going to tell us about their amazing new life. It's like, didn't you ever think, well, one day I'm going to stop working and I'm going to retire and I'm going to go to Mexico and do all the things I ever wanted to do and loll around on the beach, and nobody ever does it, but they did. They did, and this is the story of how do you do that anyway. So we have a quick tutorial on how to do it and how to do it right. So welcome, Judy, Pete. Glad you're here.
Thank you, Becky. Thank you for having us.
Yes, this is so exciting. So just give a little background. Where you guys started out in California and had children and had the working life. Give us a little background about that.
Well, real brief. I met Judy in Northern California. Got married, had two boys.
Two boys.
And then we moved up to, actually I was working and Judy was taking care of the kids, raising the kids, and we moved up to Oregon and stayed in Oregon for 5 years. And then we came out here to Nashville, Tennessee. And we've been here about, 18 years, I guess, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, and the kids grew up here. I guess they were in grade school and middle school is when we came here, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you came to Nashville, and then you were working as a mechanical engineer, right?
No,
electrical.
Actually, I was electrical engineer back in California. When I came out here, I was in, and I was in sales also over there. And then when I came out here, I was at the corporate office working marketing.
Mm-hmm, and marketing. All right, but you were also doing things like building a plane, learned how to fly.
Yeah, I did all that. Yeah, our goal was to raise the kids, and that was our utmost goal, and that's what we did. Mm-hmm. And then when they start getting older, they're in high school and college and whatnot. That's when I started branching out, doing other stuff, pursuing hobbies, and one of them was flying. I wanted to learn how to fly, and so I started building a plane, and I got too busy building a plane. I wanted to fly, so I learned to fly and bought a plane and flew. And after a couple of years, I was just flying too much. I was flying 3, 4, 5 days a week.
Wow.
Take off after work and fly for an hour or so, and then and so I wasn't building anything.
Right, you were flying instead. Yeah.
So I ended up selling the plane to finish building it, and then we actually moved, and so things got kind of crazy. I was had to sell it. So it was kind of. Anyways, it was a time to right thing.
And then
to do.
Judy, you in California stayed home to raise the two boys.
I did.
And you were working at home, but not outside the home.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
And so when we moved here, I started working again. I went back to work, and then I eventually got into healthcare IT. That was my career that I ended up eventually retiring from too. So
yes. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was fascinating that when I guess Pete turned 60, maybe, it was like, honey, you've worked all your life, and I got the big paying job now. I'm the IT person, and hey, why don't you quit your job and you just retire? I'll take care of things, right? Is that kind of what
That's
happened?
what happened.
It is.
Yeah.
It took me a year to figure it out. That okay, I'll
do it.
retire. Yeah.
Wow, wow. So you could do your hobbies, which has become motorcycles.
Yeah, I
right?
started riding motorcycles quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, riding, and don't you tinker with them?
Yeah, I
and
ride old 40 and 50-year-old motorcycles. So I
BMWs.
yeah,
and-
BMWs. Yeah,
Right.
and repair them. Then I travel with them and all over the country and
Yeah.
repair them some more and fix them up. And so it's a lot of fun. It's a great hobby.
And in the meantime, you're doing IT, but I met you years ago as a triathlete.
Right, that's right.
Okay, so you were training, and how did you even get into that part?
Well, actually, it was our 14-year-old son that one summer came to us and said, Mom, Dad, I think I'm going to sign up for a triathlon. Will you drive me there and watch me?
Wow.
That was in Oregon. Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was here. He
It was
did
here?
Cedars of
Okay.
Lebanon.
Oh, Cedars. That's
And
right.
so we
yeah.
took him, and he finished. He said, Mom, you have to do this. You'll love it.
Oh,
And I did.
wow. And then you became hooked, but you were
Yeah.
a teacher of jazzercise for a number
I
of years.
did that a long time ago, too. Yeah, so I've always been really active. Yeah.
Yeah, and fit.
And fit, yeah. But,
Yeah.
yeah, have to be doing something. But
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the job, your IT job, you were a project manager for project managers.
I was, yeah.
And for hospitals?
Hospital company, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We implemented software and did all IT, everything IT in the hospital.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So huge job and well paying and an opportunity that he could quit his job.
Right.
And then and you probably, when did you first start talking about, well, one day we'll both retire?
Well, our plan was for me to work till I was about 64, 65 to finish paying our house off. And then we were going to retire. And, really it was just kind of a loose plan. We didn't really know. We wanted to travel, but we didn't know what we were going to do. But really what happened is COVID happened, and it was kind of the catalyst for us through my sister. My sister lived in California, and she was a hairdresser, had salons in her house, and COVID came and she got shut down.
Oh, wow.
And so she had a friend that lived down in Baja. She went down to visit.
Baja, Mexico.
Baja, Mexico. She went down to visit and bought a place down there, said, I can afford to live down here. I'm just going to move down here. And we went out that November to visit her, and there was a place for sale where she lived. And, my job had gotten to where I was pretty stressed out, and I was really not wanting to work for corporate America anymore. And we, with the help of our financial planner, figured out how to go ahead and buy that place in Mexico and move down there.
Wow, and so I believe that you both of you are very good planners. So with your financial planner, you go, well, income and assets, and can we do this? Can we quit our jobs?
Right.
Right?
Right.
Really, that was the key, is going to the financial planner to make sure everything that we thought could work. They blessed it, and once they blessed it, she gave
I
notice.
said, we can do this. Yes.
I'm out of here.
That was it. Yeah.
Wow.
But you have to have a plan. I mean, you have to know what your expenses are going to be. It's not something that you can just on a whim go, I'm going to quit my job, but I want to have this comfortable life for the rest of my life too.
So tell us how the decision is made. You bought a place on the beach. Tell us where that is, and it's how far away from America.
So we lived just north of Ensenada, Baja, Mexico, and it's about 50 miles south of the border from the California border, San Diego.
50 miles, okay.
So not too far. I mean, it's Baja is a huge. A lot of Americans go there and retire and live and all of that. So it's big influx of people that are retired and want to go live there just like we did. But not too far, yeah.
And so you bought this place, which is on the beach, and we have pictures
On
of
the beach.
the place that is literally on the beach, and it's sort of like a mobile home, or how do you?
We were in an RV resort park.
RV resort.
We
Yeah.
were, yeah.
Okay, and it wasn't just for people over 55, was it?
No.
It's
No.
anybody.
Anybody. I
Yeah.
mean, summertime would come, and the Mexican families would come there for the summer, and they would either bring their trailers or whatever into the park and stay, and you know, it was a resort. So we felt like we were on vacation every day.
Wow. And then I saw pictures of your new friends on doing pretty heavy duty looking bike rides, bicycle rides.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Yeah, well, so I went down there and said, because my love of triathlons is actually cycling. That's my favorite thing to do. And I said, I have to find my cycle people down there. And so I joined a Mexican bike racing team.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't
Bike
tell you about
racing.
that part. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Whoa. Was it then that was men and women?
It was men and women, yeah. So
Wow.
I rode with them and joined them, and they just welcomed me with open arms, and I bought all their gear, and it was cool. We had a good time
Wow.
riding.
So tell us a little bit about what was that like? Is it all flat, or is there mountains?
Oh,
or?
no, Baja's really hilly.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Natchez Trace.
Oh.
Yeah, it's hilly. Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
So you would think, you know, beach, flat, Florida. I don't know. No,
No.
it's really not. It's a mountain range on the peninsula, kind of like that. But we had a lot of fun riding. I couldn't just go down there and ride by myself. It was too dangerous. I had to ride with people, you know. So.
Right. Speaking of dangerous, you said you've pretty much felt safe in your area there. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we would. Certainly, the resort was gated. It was gated resort.
Oh, it's gated.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
But you know, we go into town and almost daily. Little town and visit the gym. We had to go to get groceries and whatnot, so we could go to these little places to pick up fruit or vegetables or what have you. We felt very safe, safer than a lot of places here in Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were not. And of course, when we traveled too, we traveled south on the peninsula. The peninsula is about 1,000 miles.
The peninsula of Baja is
Baja,
1,000 miles.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and when we were traveling, we felt very safe also.
yeah.
We didn't have any issues. Yeah.
Now the other part of this is that you not only you bought this place on the beach, but you also outfitted a truck, automobile.
Yeah, so part of the plan was we wanted to have a base and travel from there, and so we chose Mexico as our base, Baja, and so we could travel up into the west U.S. and also south. So I have a van, a van I can stand up in that we converted to still being converted actually, but we converted, had it insulated, air conditioned, and whatnot. So that we also have a large dog, so when we travel and we wanted to go hiking or paddling on a canoe or whatever, you leave the dog in the van and and flip the air conditioner on, and so it was self-contained kind of a type
So
of thing.
you have a greyhound, right?
Yes,
What's your greyhound's name?
Mango.
Mango.
Yeah.
So Mango is enjoying the air conditioning while you're going out and being in the heat. We have some pictures of that. Mango just hanging out.
Hanging out.
Yeah, that's great.
She's a trooper. Yeah.
Yeah, and is Mango still with us?
She's still with us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent, Mango.
She's in the air-conditioned house now. But
Yes. So you're there. You have a home base. I think you traveled up to Seattle, and
Right.
you have one of your boys is up there.
His brother.
brothers,
brother.
Brother, family, yeah.
and our
son, yeah,
up
yeah.
in
You
Seattle.
get the other son. Okay, and so you'd go and travel in your newly outfitted van.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you always had your home base.
Right.
And then you had some real cool adventures. A couple whale things. Tell us
We had a
about
couple
that.
of
We have
whale
some
things.
cool pictures of that too.
Whales, yeah, we do. Well, so we learned that the California gray whales migrate from Alaska, where they spend the summers, and they go down to Baja in the winters to mate and give birth. And there's an area down there, probably about a 9-hour drive from where we
Right.
lived,
Yep.
9 hours south
That's
down
long.
the peninsula. Kind of hard to get to.
Yeah.
But it's this big, massive lagoon, the Bahia Ojo de Libre, and the whales come down there to mate and give birth. And so there's a select group of like biologists and environmentalists.
Yes.
Because it's a protected area, the Mexican government has given a few people rights to actually take people out into the lagoon to interact with the whales.
Yes.
And we met this woman, her name's Sherry Bondi, with Whale Magic. That's her camp thing that
Whale
she has.
magic.
And so we went down there, and right on the edge of this lagoon too, this is like the biggest salt flats in North America.
Salt.
And they mine all the salt there. I brought a piece of rock salt that we brought back. This is what is there. And you
Rock
have
salt.
to drive about 45 minutes across the salt flats to get to the lagoon.
Ah.
And you get in a boat, they're called a panga. It's like a big fishing boat, carries about 14 people. And you motor very slowly out into the lagoon. And the whales are so curious about us. They want to know us. They want to come and let us touch them. And they're very gentle, and they swim up to the boat right like this, and they just kind of look up at you, and you can reach down. They want to be touched. This is what Sherry was telling us.
Wow.
They can feel us touching them, and they just are really intuitive creatures. It was a life-changing experience for us to have that and those whales. When the first whale swam up to our boat, I just broke down in tears. I just was like, just couldn't believe it.
Wow. Did
big
you
animals.
feel you
Big
were
animals.
communicating with them
Oh yeah,
in a nonverbal something or other way?
definitely.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
And this woman, Sherry, she does. She believes that, there's sounds that she makes that the whales recognize her. And she's got names for a lot of them, because a lot of them come back every year, if they're still alive.
Yeah, she's been doing it for 30 years.
She's been doing it
so
for 30
She's
years.
got friends there, so.
She was one of the first people down there to actually be able to take a tour in these boats out into the lagoon.
Is she American?
Yes.
American?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
it's phenomenal. I mean, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
There's a life out there a lot bigger than us.
Yes, to
Yeah.
say the least.
Yeah.
And
But
what,
so
yes.
what we didn't see is that after the calves are born, the mother whales want to show off their babies. And they'll come up next to the boat with the little baby on top of their back, and they'll raise the baby up next to the boat for you to touch the baby.
Oh my heavens.
I know.
I love that.
It was early in the season when we went there. We did see some baby whales, but they were just brand new.
It's too early.
And anyway.
I want to go.
I know, that was
So
our
do I.
whale trip.
Yeah.
We wanna go back.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so back at our place in Baja, up where we lived, out our front window, not only did we sit and watch the dolphins all day long, which was phenomenal on its own, but we could see the whales migrating down the coast. One of my friends one day came and said, "I saw the whales out there." And I was like, "No, I didn't see them." So the next day I sat with my binoculars just
Waiting.
watching. And the first time I saw a spout out there, I was just
There she
went
blows.
crazy.
Yeah, oh yeah. She went
And
crazy.
one afternoon, there was a huge pod of them going down, and it was just like spout, 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 and Pete and I were around. We probably watched them for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It was incredible. incredible.
Wow.
Anyway, but
Wow. So the highlights, you have a place on the beach. You can use it as a central place and go out from there. You saw the whales. You were doing some fishing too,
Did
right?
some fishing, did a lot of fishing. On one of our trips, we did go out with a captain and went out and fished. We had some pictures. That was a lot of fun too, because the other thing that the captain took us to do on the other side of Baja in the Gulf of Mexico was to swim with the whale sharks.
The whale shark, the
Yeah,
big
the
whale
whale-
sharks.
the whale
Oh
shark.
yes,
I
that's on
didn't-
my bucket list too.
I couldn't find my pictures, but yeah, so we just jumped off the boat with our snorkel on and swam with
You swam with those
swam
ones.
with the great big whale shark, and they're really just very docile too, and they don't care. The captain says, "Just stay away from the tail." Okay, no problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I had to show you, so I brought another thing. So a lot of people like scallops to eat, right?
Yeah.
These are the size of scallops that they have in Mexico. This is what we picked up from the beach when we went to see the whales.
Yeah, just
This
laying on the
is-
beach.
these
You
are all over
pick
the
'em up.
beach.
Wow.
That's a pretty big scallop.
That's big, big
turn it over, too.
scallops.
yeah,
show-
it's
show-
pretty
Wow.
pretty impressive.
It's beautiful too.
I know. Those are
Wow.
yeah,
and you
my
say the
scallop.
food down there was good.
Oh, the food was phenomenal.
Wow.
I mean, really, the only thing in Mexico is you don't drink the water. You know, I mean, you
Aha.
don't. You go get bottled water, and you know, we have to go into town and fill up our big bottles of water, 5, 6 big jugs of water, and but as long as you don't do that, you're fine. We never had any problems, and the food down there is so fresh.
Lobster's really good too.
The other
Oh.
thing too that we didn't mention to you, Becky, that there is so much of our produce comes from Baja, Mexico.
Really?
A ton. The big Driscoll berry farm, a lot of the berries that we get, I know a lot of them come from Florida, but
Like strawberries and all that? Yes.
I mean, there's massive agriculture on that peninsula.
Huh.
And so we'd get organic produce. We'd go to the little organic produce market
Wow.
and fish that they caught that morning.
Yes.
Shrimp and Mexican lobsters.
Fabulous.
And there's a wine country there too.
Yeah.
In Baja?
That's-
Yeah,
Yeah,
over the
yeah.
hill from us, there was
Yeah.
a wine country like Napa in California.
Growing
Who knew
tremendously.
this?
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So this sounds like such a paradise, but you're back.
And we're back, yeah.
All right. So tell us, being in this wonderful, exciting place, and you can do all the things you want to do,
Yeah.
and you don't have a job.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what brought you to go, well, maybe we should leave our place and go back to America? Tell
Yeah.
us what happened.
Well, it was harder to get back here to see my little granddaughter.
Family.
As much as I wanted to, you know. Before we left, we sat down with our son that lives here with our little 3-year-old granddaughter, and he said, "Mom, Dad, you guys need to go do this. Just go do it. You can just go into San Diego and jump on a plane, come back anytime you want." And while this is true, it's easier said than done, you know. And so we drove back for Christmas, and it's a 5-day drive to get there.
5 days.
So,
Wow.
you know, we just decided, you know, we'll leave that for now and go back and be part of our granddaughter's life for a little while, but still come back to Nashville, retired, and we're going to travel and do the van thing, and you know, we're
Okay.
still doing the retirement life and part of our plan that we put together.
Okay.
So
Still doing triathlons.
still
and
doing triathlons.
Yes.
all the good stuff. So,
Yeah, but to your home base rather than Baja, Mexico, the home base is, well, now it's north of Nashville. Actually, you're in Lebanon.
Lebanon,
now.
yeah.
Right.
So,
and then,
so that's our home base now. Yeah.
yeah, and you have a little part-time job keeping you out of trouble at Home Depot in a garden center.
I decided to get a little job at Home Depot, something to do. It's like,
Yeah, yeah. And
Anyway.
then you have a garage, and are you doing your motorcycle
yeah,
working?
working on motorcycles and traveling. Yeah, just
Mm-hmm.
came back from a trip this past weekend. Yeah.
On your motorcycle?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, then the trip was like far, far away, or?
It wasn't. It was up in Pontiac, Illinois. Yeah,
Okay.
Visiting some friends. Yeah.
Okay.
It was fun.
All right. So knowing what you know, and you sold your beautiful little place, and if somebody comes up to you and says, "Wow, how did you do it?" What are the highlights of, oh, you want to do this? Well, this is what the highlights of what you need to do.
Right. I mean, it all starts with the finances.
The money.
The money. It's all about the money, you know. And we were never really good with managing our money too good. I mean, you know. Anyway.
Yeah, we had corporate jobs, so we'd run the 401ks and all that other stuff.
Right.
You know, that kind of thing, typical thing. But when it comes down to, hey, we want to retire early, you know, you're hesitant because how are we going to do that?
What are we going to live on?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
No-
Well,
no
it really
income.
comes
Right.
down to when you go. That's why we went to a financial advisor that kind of helped us walk through all that, helped with our plan of, you know, how, and that's how it's done. Yeah.
And you kind of have to have an idea in your head. Okay, this is what we think we want to do in 5 years, maybe.
But
you
it changes
know.
all the time. It did for us.
I mean, it did, yeah. But
And an advantage is you retire early enough that you're still totally active.
totally.
You know,
And
out
that
there.
Yeah, that was really it, Becky. You know, like I said, when kind of COVID hit and everything, Pete and I were just like, you know what? Let's do this now while we're still young enough
And-
and healthy enough. We want to go travel and do all this stuff. Do it, and I think that's the message that I would send people away with: is don't just think about it. Figure out a plan and do it.
Just do it, and
Just do it.
don't keep putting it off.
Don't say maybe next week, because maybe never comes. You know, maybe.
It's happened to some friends.
Right,
That
and
next week
sometimes-
never came.
You know,
People die.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So you're doing the bucket list,
Doing it.
and you're in it, and you're doing the family thing. You know.
Yep.
And the next plan is, who knows where it's going to be.
We're excited to find out what our next adventure is.
Yeah, I think the Baja thing was just a very amazing thing, and there might be another part of America, or I don't know, Canada.
Who knows?
Maybe
Well,
another country.
Another
maybe?
It's on the
country,
bucket
who
list, you
knows?
never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But life is good, though.
And there's more triathlons to do.
A lot.
Yes, in different countries, maybe.
Maybe.
Or,
Yeah.
yeah. So different things, and it sounds like you are very good planners, and are not afraid to go, you know, we've done this, let's turn around and do something different, and not be locked into one thing.
Right. It's okay if it didn't exactly go how you thought it was going to go. I mean, this exceeded our expectations, really. You know, we definitely thought we would stay there longer, but it exceeded our expectations.
All the adventure and everything
The
that you did.
adventure of it, yeah.
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 Yeah, and it sounds like there's more adventure out there. Yeah.
Yes, there are.
Yes,
a lot.
and you guys, your health is excellent. So, well, Pete, Judy, Aberg, thank you so much for spreading the wealth, spreading the information. Thank you, spirits, body, mind, spirits, transitions. Thank you. Bye-bye. It's a wrap. Woo!
You're good at what you do.
Stay right there because I want to get a picture with Spawn.
Oh yeah, we got it.
Yeah.
And we put this on Facebook.
I love
Coming
it.
soon.
There we go.